Hello everyone, welcome to my gaming channel. So, I actually recorded about an hour and a half of these videos last night, but they turned out all weird and laggy and choppy, so I'm starting over again. Let's hope it works this time, huh? So, this little series that I want to do is a base level challenge. Now, I've done this a lot in Dark Souls, but in this game, you're kind of forced to level up as you kill enemies. So how I get around that is I set myself to level 200 using a cheat system from the Nexus called dinput.dll hooks or something like that. And like I said, I set myself to the max level, but without changing my stats. I do that right at the beginning of the game, so I'm stuck with level 1 stats. This forces me to be very careful in the way I play and use my knowledge of the game mechanics and other skills that I have in playing the game to not get absolutely wrecked. I have all of the cheats that I normally use turned off except for one. I do not like to be limited to what armor and equipment or skills I can use by class, so I have restrictions on those turned off. Hopefully that's alright with everyone. I initially planned to do this little series after I had finished my remastering Dragon's Dogma project, but after I got all this video equipment set up for my first video, I realized I was too excited to wait. I think that covers just about everything. Let's do this thing.
How dark it's gotten. Have you a light source?
Alright. This part usually isn't too terribly hard, except for the Chimera, because he might just one-shot me, which
the final station.
I still get to play the game. It's not like I have to kill it. I'll try to beat it for you guys.
They hold the advantage.
I'll get wrecked over there.
Goblin!
Forge in my fire, next link in the endless chain.
Gateway to the rift. Here. Arisen, go and touch that stone. Watch your step.
Our kind is ever ready to fight by the grace of your guidance, Arisen. The dragon for certain.
Is our valor pit against the worm's evil?
A hobgoblin arisen! Be wary!
Weaklings out of the way. We good numbers. A weakling is a weakling still. We have triumphed.
I forgot to mention, I just felt like doing this without the face cam. If I get told in the comments that you guys prefer to have my face cam up there, I'll go ahead and put it back for this series. And that's another thing. There's a lot of things that I do in this series that like people may or may not agree with. And so just like let me know in the comments what you want to see. And I'll try to let those help guide the series. So for instance, if I'm dying too many times on one enemy,
Are there no other survivors?
in my mind I'm thinking I don't want this to be too boring for you guys. And so I'll probably go and get better equipment and try to kill it. But if you want to see me sticking through until I finally get it, then that's just fine. So yeah, just give me lots of feedback.
Careful! A goblin!
And I'll try to make this series as fun as it can be.
A survivor! In numbers, a weakling still.
You know, I've been thinking, I've been playing with mostly high-level characters for quite some time now, so this is gonna be interesting. This is either
The worm must be made to settle this debt.
I'm either gonna do okay because I'm not terrible at this game, or you guys are gonna have a barrel of laughs seeing me get my ass kicked. All right.
A flying beast! I'll provoke it!
Screams still like to ice.
Burn their wings!
I grant you fire's blaze!
This way! Beware the harpy song!
How did that not explode?
Let's make use of these explosives.
That works.
On my way! Lure them down and strike! Survivors, let's join them. Our goal is ahead. Let's hasten to the dragon's roost.
Recovery coming up. Leave it to me.
Arisen! This way, sir!
I'm actually gonna top off my health just to make sure I don't get immediately murdered.
The worm awaits beyond, sir. I should be proud to guide you.
Close by, Arisen.
We've
Stay
hidden
ever
away
ready
here
as we advance.
For fear of the beasts all around.
Let's have a look.
Arisen!
Cannot
This
suffer
way,
the worm
sir!
to work any further atrocities.
Alright.
Our army is routed.
Probably go
Just
for the
plain
snake
truth.
first so I don't get poisoned,
Beyond
then
that
go with
grand
the lion.
door, the dragon makes its roost.
I feel it close by, Arisen.
That's just the way I typically do it. Don't know how you guys do it. This guy's getting numb.
We need but sever the tail!
hold the advantage!
Here to think what those claws are doing.
Oh crap. Get up! Get up! Get up! Up! Well, that's how it goes. Oh well. That doesn't bode too well, does it? Gonna skip that part. Alright. Not gonna do a ton of customization on him. Just a few things. That's an alright with the face. There. Sexy. You guys already saw this bit in my first video, and I haven't made any changes to the environment, so I'll probably skip this nice little cutscene. If it'll load. There it is.
Come on, hey. Don't tell me silence. Come on, hey. Keep up. Wait, there.
If the effects of everything are a little bit too quiet, let me know. I noticed they were a little loud in my first video and while I was doing my first takes of these, so I turned down the effects all the way down about 80 voice and music, sound effects and stuff. So if they're too quiet now, let me know in the comments. Repeatedly smash up the legs, so while Strider's a pretty good vocation to start with, I actually, for this run, well, I really do like Fighter, but the reason I'm picking Fighter specifically for this run is that little bit of extra health and that little bit of extra starting defense that Fighters get, just because when I tried this run through to make sure it was possible the first time, Fighter helped in a couple of situations. So, most important thing about this little run is I gotta do this. $200. Now you'll see my level is max, but I have base stats. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. I'm gonna do it for my pawn too, because I don't want him to steal the show whenever he has to be part of the game. I will, for the most part, except for the very beginning with Rook and doing some exploring with him to grab stuff, be playing without pawns. Alright, I think that's all I gotta do. Let's do this thing.
You say it left a glowing scar?
You should be abed. I wish you would not strain yourself so. I'm worried for you, cuz.
I'm sure you've all talked to her already. I'm just going to get some affinity with her because I decided on her for this character just for whatever reason. So
The chief
I'm just gonna skip past her dialogue,
knew the whole, perhaps.
get some affinity really
You-
quick.
We all of it. Praised though I am. We've been spared. I fear I only. I fear I only. I fear I only.
Alright, that's probably enough. Da-da-da! First thing I'm gonna do, I know that it's good starting equipment, but like, I don't know, I typically don't like to use it. I like to go out and buy and find other stuff. So I'm going to, just for gold, sell like all the special little starter equipment things you get here.
Thank you. What can I do you for? As you will. As you will. What can I do you for? Take care.
I only wish.
Alright, so much stuff here.
I only wish I had.
Let's grab this for a little damage. Alright, oh yeah, it's at the bottom. Derp. And that for a little defense.
I only wish. I only wish I had.
Oops.
Add the beast makes it. I only. You always will.
Alright. When we're about to leave, I'm going to go ahead and save, just because I do have some problems with Grancis here and there, just because there's so many like HD things in it that crashes here and there, so just a heads up.
Why don't you?
Before.
So, there's a few main things I want to get done before heading to the encampment. I typically head over to Bloodwater Beach and grab the chainmail and hopefully grab a steel greatsword from that sword in the stone. On top of that, I typically like to go ahead and run over to those merchants. I can't remember where the little area is called, but it's those merchants kind of close to that kind of big pine forest and that deeper water. It's somewhere near the Shadow Ford, if I remember correctly. They've got like the Grand Sword Shield and a couple other nice pieces of equipment. Something I did on my initial run through this when I had cheats enabled is I used a jumping cheat just because I didn't feel like doing a bunch of instant resets and solar flares or whatever they're called to reach the bridge, but I jumped past the bridge to get to like past the Way Castle where normally you'd have to do the little ox cart quest first. I may or may not do that since it's technically possible though through an exploit. I will maybe let you guys leave a comment, see if you like think I should be allowed to do that. And one other thing before I leave is when I first played through this to make sure it was possible, I didn't go right to Bitter Black Isle because I'm not going to be farming Bitter Black Isle weapons. I'm just gonna kind of take what comes to me. Because if I farm Bitter Black Isle stuff, I'm pretty OP, like right off the bat, if I can get my hands on those. So I typically just use like Grancis equipment. But if you guys want me to try to go straight to Bitter Black, like after just getting a couple things instead of completing the normal story first, I'd be willing to give it a shot. So let's get going here.
To the encampment.
Awesome.
This path should see us there.
So far, so good.
Damn beast!
Careful! A goblin! The peddler is outmatched.
Mankind hates ice and fire both! I cannot obey right now! Why's a fighter, eh? But thank you.
I'll heal your wounds. This road will have us to the encampment.
Actually, gonna put that on.
Might be here much longer.
So, unfortunately, I'll have to be really careful in how I film this. As I get nearer to kind of like the Witchwood area and like the bandits camp in that like destroyed castle in the Shadow Fort kind of areas, I've done a ton of work over here, and it does tend to crash here and there. I did remove a few things that were in HD to kind of help the game out, but it still runs into it, and I did last night.
Wolves hunt in packs.
Hopefully, eventually, I contacted a little while ago, though he's busy at the moment, the person who made E&B, and they also made something called E&B Boost for Skyrim, which is what allows it to have gigantic mods without it getting like memory overload crashes, because 32-bit games can only handle like 2 to 4 gigs of VRAM, depending on if you have like a 4 gigabyte patch or not. And E&B allows a lot more than that to boost. So if we're really lucky and he's feeling super nice and generous, we'll be making that for this game as well, so we can really remove the limits on modding this game, which will be amazing. Oh, Rook's down.
I cannot move. I was clumsy. Wolves quickly to flames. Hold on.
Where'd he go?
Fire!
Alright, as I get closer to here is when it starts to get a little more shaky with the stability of the game when it comes to crashing, so I'm gonna save as this rock comes to smoosh me. Don't eat it, Rook. Swear to God, Rook. Okay. So having a little trouble with these guys when I first started playing last night to do these videos. I'm going to kill some of these bandits, but there's one that makes it pretty hard. So I'm going to try to get my hands on some better armor first, just so I'm not stuck here a little while. But like I said, when we were in the tutorial, you guys like would rather I see it through until I kill the enemies before moving on to grab better stuff. I understand. Okay, that kind of saved me. I'm going to try to hit the select option so I can heal before he murders me. Oh, guess I was kind of lucky. Oh, okay. I wasn't being careful enough. Let's try it again, shall we? It actually went worse than the first time. These bandits right here aren't terribly hard, but the one with the Cyclops mask, the sword and shield, the fighter, he he lays you out pretty quick. It only takes one hit at this level with this equipment for him to kill me, which is why I'm thinking about moving on. I got him down pretty low at one point on, like, I think, not gonna lie, my 5th attempt. And I got kind of frustrated when he just randomly swung back and killed me, and it was taking a little bit too long, especially with these kind of longer loading screens. So I am actually going to, for brevity's sake, run past these bandits and go get some better equipment. Also gonna unequip this because I've done mods to it, the trusty sword, just to give the game a little break when it comes to loading and stuff, since I'm running past things.
Hold nothing back. I'm on my way.
First thing we're going to do, unlike last time, I think I'm going to try to head this way and hope that I can get to those merchants. As I got close to this area last time, the game crashed, but that's okay because it turned out all the recordings were all messed up. So we're going to try to get through here to go buy some stuff and hope the game can handle it. I'm actually going to save. I apologize in advance for like the many saves I'll be doing. I do it just because, unfortunately, since we don't have that E and B boost that I talked about, sometimes the game can't quite handle all the mods I have, which is why I don't always release everything I have to the Nexus. I did release actually all these environment ones you're seeing right now, but I did warn anyone who downloaded it that there's a chance that the game might not be able to handle it. Try not to get wrecked by Saurians and go buy some better equipment. Come on,